Upsets, robberies, and complete slugfest happen on Misfits 5, so let's talk about it.
It's done it from time to time. Just every bit of...
From the United Kingdom, the Nightmare.
Alright, so Misfits number 5 was this past weekend, and I'm going to go over each fight and share my thoughts on how they went. Alright, so the first fight of the night was Tempo Arts versus Godson. Now, the number one thing I took from this fight was I'm really excited to see Tempo Arts back in the ring again. I think he has a lot of potential here, and I definitely think we're going to see him again, maybe even sooner than you might think, as he looks like he's been taking this serious. He's a fan favorite, it looks like, and he's only going to continue to grow with each fight. He also said that he wants to fight True Jordy next, and on Twitter, True Jordy has said he will do it if the money is there. If the bag is right, we may see that fight next, and that's a fight I definitely want to see. Now, this fight ended after the first round. Godson quit in the corner, and it was unfortunate because I wanted to see this fight carry on. I think it could have been more competitive if Godson's cardio was a little better. He was gassed after that first round. He was done for. He had nothing left. And he told his corner he was done, and they called it off. Which, those type of things are going to happen on Misfits, especially with all the new fighters who are just getting into the sport. I think Godson said he trained like 4 weeks for this fight, which is just not enough time to get conditioned. So overall, I'm impressed with Tempo Arts, and I'm excited to see him fight again. Decent fight. Up next was Ginty versus Halal Ham, and this fight was just bad, man. Very boring. No one was really throwing all that much. Ginty got one knockdown and said, I'm just going to stay away for the rest of the fight and win on points. I don't think anyone was too happy with this fight. It didn't really look like either guy wanted it that much. Halal Ham, he's had numerous chances now. If we are going to see him again, I do want him to take a good amount of time off. So overall, Ginty got the win. He did what he had to do, but any step up in competition for Ginty, I don't really see him getting many more wins in this space. Not the best fight, probably the worst fight of the night. Alright, so the third fight was Misfits' first female title fight between Astrid Wet and AJ Bunker. And honestly, I had fun with this fight. I thought it was really exciting. I thought it was very entertaining. Now granted, the technique just kind of went out the window after the first 30 seconds of this fight. But after that second fight with them not throwing at all, it was nice to see two people in the ring who actually wanted to fight. So I have a lot of respect for both of them for getting in there and just going for it completely. You can tell they both really wanted to win and really gave it their all in that ring. They never gave up. They went for the win the entire time. And even though they were gassing out, it went the full distance, and I do think it was the right decision. I had Astrid Wet winning that fight as well, even though it was super competitive. Very close fight the whole time. Respect to both of them. Astrid Wet deserved that win, and hopefully we get to see the Elle Brook Astrid Wet fight up next. So after this one, I believe it was the tag team match with Pineda and B-Dave versus Ice Poseidon and Anthony Vargas. Now, I didn't know how to feel about the whole tag team match thing. I didn't really know if it was going to work. But I also thought this fight was just really fun. I loved watching Pineda in the ring, dude. Pineda is my favorite fighter on Misfits. He is the GOAT, and he's going to win every fight from this point forward. I'm going to continue to say that every time I bring him up. And honestly, he could have went 2v1 against these guys. He was just outclassing both of them. Both guys just seemed to want to tag out and not want to go in the ring at all at one point. It just seemed like they were going back and forth, tagging because they did not want to fight Pineda, honestly. So once Pineda was done just completely outclassing these guys, tags in B-Dave with all these crazy shots just looking to knock these guys out. And I thought it was just really fun. B-Dave and Pineda make a great tag team match. You could tell they were a level above their opponents, but I am interested to see what happens next with the tag team match because I know they are going to keep it going after the success of this one. So I'm interested to see who's up next, if B-Dave and Pineda are going to stay as a tag team match or if they're going to move on to other things. Good fight overall. I thought it was fun. Up next was the biggest upset of the night. Maybe the biggest upset we've seen on Misfits so far. King Kenny versus Ashley Roxu. And I did not see Ashley Roxu winning at all. I did not see that coming. But 100%, he totally deserved that win. I'm happy for him. He went in there and did what he had to do to get the win. King Kenny, you can tell he's very skilled. He is technically a much better boxer than a lot of these other guys, but he was just not throwing in there. And a big part of that is the fact that his trainer Daly was telling him in the corner that he was winning every round just doing what he was doing. He was not going for the win at all. Even when he was down multiple rounds, there just seemed to be zero urgency from Kenny, and I really hope that he learns from this moving forward because he has so much potential in this space. I think he will learn from this. I just saw today that he is signed to the King Ping tournament coming up, and that tournament looks stacked, so I'm excited for that. That's where he'll be able to redeem himself for this loss. Not a great look for Kenny right now. He's definitely going to need a big performance after this to bounce back because his stock just dropped bad. He was a guy people had in a lot of top 10s, and now he is out of everyone's top 10 100% after that performance because he, at the end of the day, should have beat Ashley Roxu. Ashley Roxu, he did good. He did what he had to do, but King Kenny should not have lost that fight. He had to throw more. He did not do enough, and he clearly lost. I had that fight going 3 rounds to 1 for Ashley Roxu. So this is huge opportunity for Ashley Roxu. He needs to capitalize off of this, and this fight will only boost his name to stay in this Misfits space for even longer, fight better opponents, so happy for him. Now the co-main for this event was Dean the Great versus Puli Arif, and this fight went kind of how I expected it would. I do think Dean was the better fighter. His power was a lot better than Puli's. There was a lot more power to Dean's shots. Puli definitely had his moments, but the knockdown really certified this win for Dean. I knew Puli had some skills on him, and he did slightly even better than I thought he would. But overall, it was a solid win for Dean. I really want to see that Waleed rematch. Hopefully they make him do that because I don't know if he wants to really do it. But I really hope they make him. I really hope they get that fight done next. Solid win for Dean. That knockdown got him really the win. He looked a little off. He was really overshooting that overhand right. It looked like he just wanted to get that knockout and finish the fight, which I think hurt him a little bit. But overall, good performance for Dean. Now the main event, the very controversial main event between Jay Swingler and Nick Lamau. Now Nick went in there and surprised everyone watching. I don't think anyone expected him to be as good as he was. With only, I think, 6 months of training, he looked very sharp in there, and he definitely has huge potential, and his stock has went way up after this fight, even with the loss. Now when I first watched the fight, I was not 100% sure who I thought won. I was kind of in between. I thought it was a very close fight, but I went back later and I watched the fight again, and I do think that Nick won the fight in my opinion. He seemed like the more active fighter. It looked like he landed more. Jay was throwing a lot more power with his shots, but he was missing a lot of them. And when he did connect, it did not seem like it hurt Nick all that much. So I do think Jay was 100% underestimating Nick here. I think he thought it was going to be an easy win for him and was not expecting this type of fight. I do think Jay can bring a lot more to the table in terms of performance. He gets the win. I saw the appeal for Nick was denied, so Jay Swingler is the official winner of this fight. It's not going to change. I don't think Nick won by enough to turn it over, so I kind of thought that was going to happen. I've seen Jay's handled the win pretty well. He's not being he's not just saying how 100%, oh, he totally won the fight. He's not bragging about it. He was talking about how it was a close fight, so hopefully Jay will take this as a learning experience moving forward. And I hope to see Nick back in the ring as well because he has a lot of potential. And if he continues to train, he will become a top guy quick. But yeah, I do think Nick won that fight. The judges and Misfits have been pretty iffy, especially, you were in Jay's hometown. The crowd was going insane every time Jay landed a punch. So these type of things are going to happen. From a fan perspective, you don't like to see it. But it is what it is. Overall, solid event. It was one of the weaker events probably for Misfits, but it was also not a lot of big names on this card, so it delivered for what it is. I'm excited for the next event next month. The main event for that is JMX versus Le'Veon Bell. That should be pretty interesting. I'll make a video about that in the next week or two when the full fight card is released. Hopefully there's some big fights on that one. But anyway, subscribe for more boxing updates. If you feel like it, that would be pretty cool. Thank you for watching. Peace.